Hey Student Success, this is your video for week 5 of the semester. We are now officially halfway done with the course since you are taking the 8-week kind of accelerated session of this. So that is awesome news. You are over the halfway point at this point in time. So this week runs from February 15th through the 21st. And as a reminder, like I've been doing with every video, your student success workshops. You are now just a few weeks remaining in the semester, and like I said, a handful of you have turned them in already, but there's still several of you who have not, and you may have already registered and your workshop might not be for another couple days or maybe beginning of March. But remember, this is due by the end of your 8-week session. We are done mid-March, so this is when this assignment is due. So please make sure that you open this link. This will tell you where all the workshops are in terms of their availability, and then you'll actually go into My Stark State to register for those workshops. Okay, so we are in week 5, so I'll scroll down. Chapter 11, Taking Control of Your Finances and Basic Money Management. So you have 2 assignments this week. You'll see Chapter 11 in the Basics of Money Management assignment. You'll notice there is no discussion forum this week. So week 5, I'll have to change that real quick. Week 5 attendance will be based on completing both of these assignments by Sunday. So no discussion forum, completion of both, we will earn you full week 5 attendance credit. If you only complete one, you get partial attendance credit. So if I look in my materials folder, we have our Chapter 11 textbook link. You'll also see a couple financial resources, but if I click on the link for the textbook, here is Chapter 11, Taking Control of Your Finances. So this is another one of these chapters where I'm going to basically say, look where it applies, because I know I have students in here who are all over the place in terms of not only their academics and their family situations, but finances. I mean, if you're taking this as a high school student, your finances and your financial concerns are going to look very different than a student who is raising a family right now or already working or going back for another, a different major. So that's why I like to say, just really take a look at the table of contents here and try to focus on what would be beneficial to you. So no matter where you are in life, a credit card may or may not be an issue. So you might look at credit cards. Now you might kind of look at just financial goals in general, and maybe you have a spending issue. One of the things that I think everyone can benefit, no matter where you are, is taking kind of a financial analysis, very similar to what you would do with like a time analysis, where you would track your spending for, even if it's just for a few days. So this kind of breaks it down a little bit, making you think about it. But I even encourage you to get like a spreadsheet or a document of some sort and take a week, even just 2 or 3 days. And every time you spend money, write down, what did you spend money on? Was it on food? Was it on entertainment? Was it on like a utility? And then after those few days, or like I said, it really is helpful the longer you go. Where are you spending your money and where do you have room to maybe put that money into savings or put it toward a different credit card? I've been working for quite a long time, and I still do that every once in a while. If I notice that all of a sudden, like 1 month, I'm like, wow, what's going on here? I'll do a quick financial analysis, and it's something you can do on your own, and depending on how in-depth you get, it doesn't take terribly long. But then you can maybe see like, oh man, my streaming services are getting out of control. That was one of our issues. When we got rid of cable, we got Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, and now we're looking at Peacock, and it's like, is this really making any sense to have all these streaming services? So, little things like that. I think no matter what point you are in your life, you can kind of take stock of that. So that's what that section is for, is, looking and seeing how are you spending your money? How maybe could it be done a little bit more smartly? Again, maybe credit cards are something that is an issue or a concern, whether you have credit cards or maybe you don't and you want to qualify for credit cards. Talking about your credit, obviously the higher credit, the better. Well, if you have no credit, how do you start establishing that? Or if your credit is low, what can you do to, make sure that your credit score is raised? So this is going to talk about, your credit limit, avoiding debt, your credit history, all that kind of stuff. So again, I think that could help anyone, no matter where they are, just being aware of those kind of things. So again, just look through financing college. This may apply to 98% of you. I know some of you might be paying out of pocket, or your employer might be paying, or maybe you're on scholarships, but the rest of you, or CCP, obviously your school is paying for you, but the rest of you might have loans out, you might have grants out, and so just understanding the difference between those different kinds of financial aid and ultimately what that looks like in your future if you do take out aid, and then knowing that you have to fill out your FAFSA form every single year. It's not a one and done. You have to fill it out. You can actually start filling out your FAFSA right now for next school year. So just knowing those kind of things is helpful. So that's what that section is over. So again, peruse and look through what is going to benefit you most. Okay. Now, the 2 assignments. So let me get back to week 5 and scroll down to our assignments. We have 2 assignments, the basics of money management, 10-point assignment, and your chapter 11 assignment. So I'm going to first go into the basics of money management. Now, East State does have a little video here that walks you through just this assignment in particular. So if you wanted to kind of pause my video and watch that instead, or you can just use my video, I do walk you through it as well. And then here are the written instructions. So if you want to click on that, it opens up into a PDF that basically walks you through, because this assignment is not done in Blackboard. It takes you to an outside site, and this shows you how to get to what you need to do for this assignment. I know it looks like a lot of steps, but it's not terrible. So what you do is you'll click onto this Ohio Means Jobs website. You're going to go up to college students, because that's what you are. And I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, and you're going to go down to financial literacy. You're going to go to the basics of money management, which hopefully is easy to remember because that's the title of the assignment. Okay, and then we'll scroll down a little bit, and we're going to hit Start Tutorial. Here is what you're going to do. You're going to complete. You'll click on this and it's going to open up. There are 4 lessons and then like a post test. So you're going to click through, and you'll see once you click on one, there's different steps in there. And again, this is something that I kind of, in theory, yes, you should look over every single piece of information. In practicality, some of this won't apply to some of you. So really pay attention to what seems like it's going to be most beneficial to you. I've had students do it either way. Some are like, I looked at everything and it was all helpful. Or some students said, I really just focused on a couple of things that I thought was important to me. But if you do that, make sure you go over the course summary so that you really do have, an overall idea of what you might have missed if you didn't look at every single little piece. So again, I encourage you to look at everything, but you can certainly kind of pay more attention or spend more time on certain sections that apply or would be most beneficial to you. When you're all done, you've looked at your lessons, each of those particular units, you've looked at the course summary, you've paid attention to the details that you need to, you're going to go and you're going to click on the post test. And there are questions you'll go through. Don't forget to hit next, so make sure you hit all the questions. When you're done, you'll click score my test. Now, don't do what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm not going to get a score because I didn't complete it, but it's going to say, okay, did you answer all 10 questions? You'll hit score. I obviously did not do well because I didn't answer anything. So you don't do what I just did. I'm just doing this for purposes to show you what it's going to look like. When you're all done and it's scored, you're going to click on Certificate of Completion. You're going to put your name in there, and you're going to be able to hit Submit. And this right here is going to walk you through, like whenever you have done that, you will save it, and this one uses Firefox, although you should be able to do it regardless of what browser you're in. You're going to save it into your documents, into your desktop or whatever file you would like to go to, and then you'll go back to Blackboard, click. All the directions are there again. Browse your files, find where you saved it, open it, and submit it. Okay, and that's how I'll know that you completed that assignment, is you'll go in and you will take that, look through those assignments, you'll take the post-test, and you'll get that certificate of completion that will, score your test and show that you completed that part of the assignment. Click in there and you'll upload that document. All right, that's basics of money management. When you scroll down, your next assignment is Chapter 11. So Chapter 11 assignment has to do with your resume. And so there are two ways we can do this. So I'm going to start with the assumption that you don't have a resume. We're going to start with that one. This is not going to ask you to create a resume. So if you do not currently have a resume, you do not have to create a resume for this assignment. Instead, you are going to answer these two questions, and you can say, it says right here in 3 to 5 sentences, you're going to answer these two questions. Make a list of 5 experiences, 5 qualifications, and 3 references that you would put on your future resume. Again, you don't have to list like certain names. Like if you had a reference, it doesn't have to be like Linda Remark. It can be a previous high school instructor. It can be a previous employer. Who would be most likely that you would ask for a reference. And then what kind of job, internship, or other experience could you potentially have now in your college years that will strengthen your resume? So what would you need to do? What are you doing? What will you need to do that's going to strengthen your resume? And that's what you'll answer for part 2. That you can do if you wanted to open up a Word document and type it in there and then submit it, or you can click into the assignment and you can click Write Submission and you can type it right there. Now, here's the other thing. If you already have a resume, let's say you have a resume already, you can upload your resume. If your resume includes these things, you're good. If your resume does not, just over in the, let's say you go in and you upload it, you can type a couple things even after you've uploaded your resume. You can type a few things like, I know my resume might need a little bit more strength in my skills, and here's what I'm going to do. So maybe while you have a resume, you recognize that there are some areas your resume could be improved. So those are the two options. So you can operate under the assumption that you do not have a resume, and so you answer these two questions. Or if you have a resume, you upload your resume and then just address, anything that's not addressed on your resume. What else could you add? How else could you strengthen your resume? What else do you need to do in order to really make yourself more marketable? So those are what the two options within Chapter 11 assignment. So again, both of those are due by Sunday, the 21st, and completing both will earn you 100% on your attendance for week 5. Completing only one will give you 50% partial attendance for week 5. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and have a great week.